welcome back. Well, for now, the SGX Nifty is under a bit of pressure. I know we keep tracking the equity markets, but the other big headline is what's happening with the Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin is now down more than 80% from last year's high, and it's nearing its worst ever bear market. So we were talking about all asset classes that were under pressure this year. I think Bitcoin has by far been the worst. But our research team is standing by with CNBC TV 18's list of top 10 stocks for the day. So let's drill it down to the specifics. Anuj, what would you be looking at?
Yeah, so interesting you said Bitcoin, because it's fallen 80%, but still I think some 500 times or 800 times from last 4 or 5. A lot of people think double digit could be a decent price for Bitcoin with zero preceding. I think Jake said tweeted with zero preceding and even in double digit. But anyway, let's talk about our market. I think I'm going a bit anti-convention today, but for me TCS could be the stock to watch. It's corrected right up to the 200-day moving average. Very strong delivery buying yesterday, first day of buying yesterday, and this rupee strength story may have played out, and the stock has corrected quite a bit. So I would want to see the follow through here, and again the risk reward perhaps would favor you, and SBI perhaps would be on the downside because money market reversed after 3:30. The market closed at 3:30, and PSU banks closed at the highest point yesterday. SBI led that rally, so just perhaps in the first half. That rally may cool off. That's my sense. So that's why perhaps I would want to see the view on SBI today.
Okay. Well, there is a Mint newspaper report that the Reserve Bank is looking at Yes Bank's loans to NBFCs, general exposure to NBFCs, and more particularly to IL&FS and importantly DHFL and India Bulls. We have not been able to confirm the report itself, but I could get this much from my source in Reserve Bank that they were looking at the synchronized rise and fall of the three stocks. That was about all that we could get in terms of a verification of this report. But nevertheless, you must expect that if Yes Bank's loans are being watched, then the market could be a little worried about what may be the outcome of this survey.
Okay, well, Yes Bank, one of the biggest losers over the last many weeks. But what about pharma stocks? They've come back on our radar. Ekta is here to tell us more. Ekta?
Well, yes, I'll start with Sun Pharmaceuticals. That stock is in news because they have acquired a Japanese company. It's only around $1 million, but separately, it is a loss-making company with 2 facilities. Just want to add that they've also settled on a particular drug which is basically used for narcolepsy, modafinil, and it is a Ranbaxy drug. They've already taken 2 write-offs in the past 1 or 2 years with regards to this particular drug, and hence it would be a positive that they've settled on the drug finally in terms of a litigation, but we don't know what sort of write-offs would the future would entail for Sun Pharma. So maybe a little bit of trepidation there, and since there is a halal inspection going on, the stock would probably be under pressure. For Lupin, the news is that I'm picking up from my sources that the US FDA is inspecting their Mandideep facility, but over a period of time, the Mandideep facility has reduced in importance for Lupin, so just keep that stock on your radar. And separately, stocks such as Granules, which has also received a US FDA drug approval this morning, so that stock will probably be in the green because they're slowly picking up their formulation business, and hence this would bode well for them.
Okay. Thanks a lot for all those stocks. Sonal, you have some more stocks on your radar?
Hi, good morning, Lata. Well, I'll start with IFCI. The company has received a consideration of around 500 crore rupees, and that is on account of resolution of Binani Cement through the NCLT. So expect some green on that stock. Now, Bharat Ventures and the subsidiary has signed an agreement to supply power to Telangana state grid, and the contracts, they'll be commencing from 15th of January 2019 to 30th of April 2019 and are at a net price of around 5.75 rupees per unit. Suzlon will also be in focus because they have sold some stake in the subsidiary for an amount of around 32 crore rupees. And Unichem, that one of the plants of the company has received an EIR, that is Establishment Inspection Report, and this particular plant was inspected from around 25th June 2018 to June 30th 2018. Some respite for the stock expected. Okay, thanks a lot for that, Sonal. So let's do one thing. Let's just put all of these stocks together and give you a quick recap of our top stocks to watch. Stocks with positive news flow this morning. You have TCS, IFCI, Navbharat Ventures, Suzlon Energy, Unichem Laboratories and Granules. While stocks with negative news flow this morning, SBI, Lupin, Sun Pharma and Yes Bank. But we're also going to talk about what brokerages are saying today about individual names. Anisha has that list. Hi Anisha, morning.
Hi Sonia, good morning. I'll start with Morgan Stanley. They have written a big note on metals. Now, they say that the domestic steel profitability is at a decadal peak, but on the flip side, the valuations too are at a premium to history for large steel stocks. And to add to that, the domestic demand risk continues, and the high leverage also adds to the near-term concerns. Hence, they have moved around their calls on a lot of stocks. First up, they have upgraded Coal India to overweight, though they have cut their target there. They have downgraded JSW Steel to underweight from equal weight earlier. They have downgraded JSPL to equal weight from overweight earlier and have cut the target to 174 versus 314. So major cut coming in for JSPL, and for a lot of others like Hindalco, Vedanta, SAIL, they have maintained their calls, though they have cut target price for quite a few of them. Moving on to Deutsche Bank, they have written on Siemens because remember Siemens had an analyst meet yesterday. To bring in the takeaways, they say that they expect the high ROCE digital factories and building segment to lead growth. They have cut the target price and EPS marginally, but they like the fact that the valuations are very reasonable and attractive when you compare it to the historic averages. Moving on to Godrej Properties, it was in focus yesterday because they signed a JV with Hero Cycles. Now, Deutsche Bank writes on it and says that the impact of this JV in the near term will be negligible. However, they maintain a buy call on the stock with a target price of 1,000. Phillip Capitals has also written on Voltas. Now, they maintain a neutral call and a bit of dampener coming in here because they expect Q3 to be subdued as well. They say that the margins might continue to remain under pressure in Q3, so that adds a tad bit of negative sentiment when it comes to the consumer durable space. So that might be in focus as well. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Anisha. This is a theme that we are going to explore further. The first one that you heard, that Morgan Stanley is worrying about the global commodity prices, steel prices, and the fact that many domestic companies are highly leveraged even as the steel price commodity cycle could be peaking off. Is it peaking off? That's a discussion we will have. But for the moment, it's a break, and we will have our technical experts joining us in a minute. Ashwini Gujral, Sudarshan Sukhani, and Mitesh Thakkar.